Hey, good morning, traders. Well, I'm going to attempt to do a series of 3 or 4 videos here. I'm going to try to keep these videos a little bit shorter. The update doesn't have to be inclusive of everything that I want to cover for the week. And so in this particular video, we're just going to be covering the DXY, which is the dollar, the VIX, gold, the SPY, and of course Bitcoin. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as usual, I'm jumping straight into the dollar chart, and you can see the dollar is right on pace. In fact, it has surprised me. I thought here we may bounce on my pink trend line. We did not. In fact, the dollar bears just kept cranking through. We came all the way down to this support level of 100 and actually closed below it. So it remains to be seen if this is going to hold or not. Maybe we get a little bit of a bounce on Monday. Maybe we continue down all the way down here to this significant trend line of support. This comes all the way from 1984, and we touched it several years along the way. Very strong support. Of course, what the market is doing here is anticipating a Fed rate cut in September. I think the average consensus is 50 basis points, and I'm in that camp as well. I think that's the rate cut that we'll see in September. The market is simply working ahead of time, trying to figure out where we go from here. So if it's 50 basis points, I don't know, we could come a little bit lower and come all the way down and test this trend line, or we could just sit here for a few days and then come down, or maybe this support at 100 holds. I am not quite sure, folks. Looks like that 100 area is very strong support, so I wouldn't be surprised if we remain steady there for the time being. And I'll tell you why on the gold chart. You can see here is our gold chart, and you can see we have reached our what is this, an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and the target of which has been reached. In a future video, you guys see all these liquidation levels. I'm going to be talking about that in my next video. For now, I'm going to go ahead and hide that so it doesn't confuse us. But here we are moving up and hit our target exactly 232. That's why I like these patterns, guys. They give us good targets. Now, could we go higher? Yes. But I'm expecting that if the dollar bounces on that $100 or that 100 support, this line of support here, which I should probably make a little bit thicker so we can see it. It is strong support. Then if the dollar bounces, commodities start to come down a little bit, right? And since we've reached our target on this inverse head and shoulders pattern on gold, I think we can expect commodities to at least pull back a little bit. And let's take a look at the VIX here to see if that supports the thesis, the current thesis. Yes, we have come back down to our channel. We're actually sitting right on top of it. So we could bounce off of that channel and move up. And if the VIX moves up and the dollar continues to move up, then we have mixed signals. But if the VIX comes back down into this channel and the dollar continues to decline, the markets are going to rocket. If the dollar bounces and goes higher along with the VIX, we can expect a pullback in the markets. So let's take a look at our SPY to see if that supports that last thesis, all right, of a pullback in the market. All right, so here I've just charted out, this is a cup and handle pattern that we can see on the 2-week pattern, all right? You can see it on the weekly too, but there is a candle there that might mess you up a little bit. Whereas on the 2-week, you just see that we wick right down and then back up above this line, supporting the thesis that this cup and handle pattern will play out. And we're going to go to all-time highs eventually. I don't have that drawn out here on the chart. Maybe I can pause the video and get that up here. All right, guys. So if the Fed cuts rates and this cup and handle pattern plays out on the bi-weekly, I expect a target of 650 to 700 on SPY before everything is all said and done. Now the big question is, see this M pattern here? I have, as I released in a recent post, sold half of my positions once again. Why? Just preparing for the fact that I could be wrong on this full send and this M pattern plays out. I still do think even if the M pattern plays out, we go to 650, 700. However, I want to trade this volatility. I want to take advantage of the volatility. So again, if this M pattern plays out, we would come down probably 15-20% again. Now there would have to be a geopolitical event or something, but that's likely these days. All right, that's not an anomaly. And here's something else I want to read to you. We talked about this Japanese carry trade. At least I alluded to it quickly and why there was this sell-off. And that's I sold here first 50% of my position at 560 SPY. I bought back down here at around 520, I want to say, and I sold here again just recently, a few days ago, at pretty much the same price is what I sold last time. All right, and I did that because I could be wrong about us going straight to the moon. There might be a little bit of shake up first and we drop and this M pattern plays out, and I would expect 15 to 20% drop. Now here's something that supports that thesis. All right, I read recently a 10% surge in the Japanese yen within just 5 weeks has occurred only 2 times since 1997. All right, once was in March 2008, where we had a 50% market crash, and once was in September 1998, where we had a 20% decline to new all-time highs. Now, I think most likely would be the latter, September 1998, where we had that 20% decline, and it makes sense. So we see this double top here, guys, and that is what I'm talking about when I talk about this M pattern. And there is definitely going to be resistance in this area. That's why I sold. I want to either buy back if we drop another 15 to 20%, somewhere around this 200-day moving average, or maybe even a wick below that. Or I would buy back if we come back above, you guys remember my previous target here, 570, which we almost tagged precisely and are almost there again. If we come back above us, that's going to tell me that M pattern is invalidated, and this is simply a bull flag here, guys. All right, so that's how I'm trading on the stonks. Okay, so just before I leave this chart, I want to show you the zoomed in view. Once again, a 20% decline would take us right down to around, I would say we would go down possibly to 490 to 500. 15% would be somewhere in this area. But that M pattern still remains to be confirmed whether that's going to play out. And again, that brings into question the validity of this cup and handle pattern on the bi-weekly. I'm going to zoom out to the weekly since it's a quick click here, and we'll go into auto mode. And so again, we would have to do another one of these quick wick downs and then back above again. Again, this is a lot of volatility for such a huge market, but in these days, it definitely is, anything is possible, guys. All right, so let's finish up here with the Bitcoin. All right, and I want to show you what I'm seeing here. All right, so we are in this bullish channel still, which is in fact on a weekly chart, which I don't have up here, but this is actually a handle on a weekly chart. All right, so that again sends us all the way up here to our end of year target, somewhere between 85 and 95,000. And then we hit some resistance up here. All right, so one thing that I'm going to pull up here quickly, and I'm going to talk about this in the next video, is these liquidity swings. All right, so I was trying to figure out, is there an easy way to put an indicator on the chart that shows where our liquidity is? And I did find something by Lux Algo. Seems to have some of the best indicators on TradingView. By the way, TradingView link, if you're not a subscriber, is in the description. I'd appreciate those that are new if you click on that and join TradingView to click on that link, and that helps me out, helps you out as well. But we are in this channel here, and what's interesting about these liquidity trackers is they show that my channel is pretty valid, right? They show large amounts of selling up here at the top of the channel. All these blocks are sellers. All these green blocks down here are buyers, and they happen to be at the bottom of the channel. And so here's an interesting situation for Bitcoin right now. We are, again, above all of our moving day average, the 50, 100, and 200 day, but we're running into, let me get on my arrow here, we're running into resistance again, not only from our trend lines here. We've got a purple ascending trend line, which we've hit yesterday and dropped down. But we've also got this black multi-year, which is still, even though it's becoming less and less significant, and eventually I am going to erase this, all right, it still is acting as resistance. And so this all comes into this area where there were a lot of sellers, right here around between 68 and 70,000, which is also the top of the channel. All right, so Bitcoin is now running into resistance again. And we have to track this very closely along with some other indicators to determine what Bitcoin will actually do. I expect we are going to see, maybe we hop up here and liquidate some of these shorts, but then we will drop and go sideways for another couple of boring weeks. That's kind of what I see. While we hover around here at the top of the channel, eventually the bulls want to break out to the top side. And here in the US, we have some positive bullish news for crypto. And that is, the fact that RFKJ has joined forces with Trump on the presidential campaign. Both of them are very pro-crypto, and, and they actually mean it. All right. Everything else, a lot of noise coming from the other side, and I'm not being political, but these are just empty words that we've seen a lot. I mean, the Biden administration has had almost 4 years now to do something, but instead, Gary Gensler, who has waged a brutal war against crypto, not defining terms, not defining conditions, and yet continuing to drop baseless lawsuits against various crypto blockchains without definition, is somebody that Harris says she will continue. She sees no reason to fire him. All right. Somebody who is really a threat to not only the crypto system, but just justice in general. All right. So these words from the other side in terms of crypto, I'm not being political here. We're just talking about crypto and investments, right? In my opinion, are meaningless. They don't mean anything. They're just a political ploy to gain more votes. Whereas on the other side, I at least know without question that RFKJ is pro-crypto. Trump, he was a little bit iffy last time around. He seems to have sided with crypto. We don't know that for sure because they're just words until somebody puts those words into action, right? And so there's, but J.D. Vance, his vice president, is very much pro-crypto. So, I would say to side with that, if that side gets elected, we will definitely see a pump in crypto. And all of this is very bullish news for the crypto. So we could finally break above this channel, which is also, again, a handle on a larger time frame. And that could take us to our year-end target or higher on Bitcoin. That's where we're at right now. But again, in the shorter term time frame, like a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, we do have quite a bit of resistance ahead of us. The bulls really have to come out in full force here to take us higher, and we'll see if that happens. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Drop a comment if you will. I like those comments. I don't like them for video views. I don't care about the video views. I'm just doing this because I like doing this. And you guys all happen to like following me. I appreciate that. But I like reading your comments too. I like to see what your opinions are. I don't care if your opinions are different than mine. I really don't. Actually, I enjoy reading different perspectives than me because the algorithms right now on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they all cater to what your current perspective is. And that is, you're just in a confirmation bias loop. So I want to see people also that have different opinions, and not just an opinion, but valid reasons as to why you have those opinions based upon logic and sound reason, all the kind of thing that makes logic important. Hope you enjoyed the video. Peace, y'all. See you in the next.